This is a quick demo on how Talis lists work for the benefit of academic colleagues at QMU. To find QMU Talis lists, go to the library webpage and follow the link to the library resources. Then click on Talis Resource Lists. Before you are able to work on Talis, you first need to register with it. If you haven't done so, please do that by following the instructions in the Talis Resource Lists libguide. I will show you how to find that. Again, from the library resources, go to the QMU library guides and then Talis Resource Lists. So please read the introduction and follow the first step to register. Once you've done that, email your liaison librarian a list of all the modules that you are responsible for so that they can assign ownership to you for those Talis resource lists. The next step would be to add the Talis resource lists bookmarklet or bookmark. The instructions are here, but I will demonstrate now how to do that. It is recommended that you use the Chrome browser for this, and it is probably best to work on the remote desktop rather than outside of it. So first of all, you'd need to log in once you've registered. Before you are able to install the bookmark button, make sure that your favorite bar shows in the Chrome browser. In other words, this list of bookmarks I have here appear in the favorite bar, which is a bit like a folder within the favorites of the Chrome browser, if you like. So if you don't have anything showing here, it may be that you've not used it before, or it may be that it doesn't show by default. So before adding a bookmark button, make sure this shows. To do that, go to the three vertical dots here in the Chrome browser and go to Settings. Make sure that Show Bookmarks bar is on. Once you've done so, you can now install your bookmark button. Click on Install Bookmark. Next, click and drag this Add to My Bookmarks button into your Favorites bar. And as you can see, it's appeared here. Click Next and close. Now you can rename this by right-clicking on it, Edit, and give it a name that you prefer. This bookmark app is what you need in order to add any resources to your Talis lists. Let's say you've now been given ownership to one of the Talis lists and you'd like to start adding resources to it. Go to your lists here and find the list that you want to edit. In my case, I keep a test list here just for demos. Let's say you want to add something for the very first time. And let me show you how to add a book from the library catalog. What you need to do is keep this window open with the resource list you are working on and open a second window in your browser. Now find the book you want to add. So let's find the library catalogue. And let's say I want to add this print book to my Talis resource list. Click on the title and stop at this page, which shows the details of the book, and then click on the permanent link here at the bottom of the record. It is sometimes difficult to notice the permanent links because sometimes the record is very long, but it will always be somewhere at the bottom of the record. It is advisable to use the permanent link because if anything changes, your Talis list will not be affected by it. Now click on the Talis bookmark, the button you added earlier, and this shows a preview of the page we are bookmarking. You can either just create this bookmark and it will be added to a list of bookmarks here, or create and add to list at the same time. Make sure at this point that you are choosing the right Talis list. It's not always the list that you are working on showing here. You can either add it at the top of the list or at the bottom, or if your list has sections, you can add it to a section within the list. You can add a note for the students. And you should always set the importance of the reading. It is important for the students to know, as well as for the library staff. For example, given the COVID situation, our library staff are working their way through reports pulled out of Talis on essential reading in order to see if there are any e-books that are available to purchase, so that we can ensure that students have access as much as possible online. So if your reading hasn't been allocated an importance level, then it will not be pulled out in the reports we are creating from Talis lists. You can add a note for the library should you need to. And then click OK. Go to your Talis list and you should see the entry in week 14 where we've added the note for the student and the note for the library. You may not always see the entry added, so you may have to refresh the screen, or you can just refresh the screen at the end of editing the whole list. It's up to you. As you can see, you can still change the importance of the reading from here if you need to. You can edit the notes that you've added here by going to these three dots and clicking Note for Students and changing it and saving it, or the note for the library in the same way. Okay, you can delete them and you can edit the record of the entry that you have here as well, should there be anything wrong with it. At the moment, let's see what it shows when we click on the title. It shows 3 copies of 3 are available, and when you click on this link, it will take the student straight to the library catalogue so that they can see what's available. You can move your entry wherever you like. If you click on the up and down arrow and drag it to any other section or anywhere else in the list, and you can delete it altogether if you wish from here, or you can cut and paste it somewhere else in the list. You can do lots of other things here, so feel free to explore them. Most of the times you wouldn't need to edit a record. In this case, this is a print book and it looks okay. It shows that it is a book as a resource type. However, you can change things from this screen should anything not look right. In this case, everything seems fine, so I will leave it as it is. Let's now say that you want to add an electronic book. And there is one here. And we do exactly the same thing as before. We stop at this particular page. We don't follow the link to connect to the ebook. We just stop at the catalog record and click on the permanent link. Again, click Talis bookmark and click create and add to list. Make sure again that it is the right list, and I'll add this at the top of the list this time. I'm not going to choose any of the sections within the list. Again, you can add notes, set the importance. I'll just choose recommended this time. And now if we go to the first window again and click refresh, note that it's been added here. Because this is an ebook, it now shows this view online button, which if you click should take you straight to the book. Although we bookmarked the library catalog, the link does take you to the ebook website. Let's now say that you want to add resources that you've added before to other resource lists. You can do so easily by hovering with your mouse over the list and stopping where you need to and clicking on add resource here. This is the list of bookmarks I mentioned earlier. This is everything you have bookmarked before. You can either click on show more and the list will go on, or you can search for a book in your bookmark list. Let's try tourism. And as you can see, I have a number of books that contain that word, so I'll just add this particular one. And here it is. I can set the importance from here again, and I can add any note I want to for students or for the library. Move this wherever I need it to be if it wasn't in the right place. By hovering with your mouse over the Talis list items, you can also add paragraphs wherever you need to. For example, here. Again, you can move paragraphs wherever you like by clicking and dragging them. And you can add new sections. And a description should you want to. Click Save, and you'll notice that this section is empty right now. However, you can drag items into it if you like, just with the click and drag option. You can edit the section, just like with the other items. You can cut and paste it somewhere else in the resource list. For example, I will paste it here. And you can delete it altogether. Please be aware that if you delete a whole section, all items within it will be deleted as well. Once you've finished editing your list, do not forget to publish it. If you don't publish it, then nobody will see the changes that you have made except you and the librarian. If you then search for your list without publishing it, you will notice that there may be two entries for the same list. One will be the one that's already been published, the original one, and one will be the draft list that you were working on, which you didn't save. So it is important that you remember to publish it if you want students to see the changes. If you are a module coordinator, you would normally be assigned list ownership of your Talis resource list. This will enable you to add other colleagues to your Talis resource list as publishers. Go to Edit and click Invite List Publishers. Add your colleague's QMU email address and click Send Invites. Once you've done so, they will also be able to edit the list and publish it. It is good practice to add the number of students who take a module to your Talis resource list. Go to Edit, Student Numbers, and you can change the numbers from here. Click Save. This will give your liaison librarian an idea of how many copies of print books, for example, might be needed according to the number of students who take this module at any one time. Let's just say I have finished editing my list and I would like to publish it now. This list is now publicly available. When you publish your list, a review file is automatically generated by the Talis system, which is sent to your liaison librarian. Your liaison librarian then will be able to check that the links work and take any action necessary, for example, purchase extra copies of books and so on. Please note that you should not add bookmarks to articles which do not have full text available online. If you do need an article for which we do not have full text access, then follow the usual procedure of requesting a scan through the CLA scanning@qmu.ac.uk email address. Before I finish, I'd like to draw your attention to a few new features for Talis Resource Lists. First of all, the table of contents. This enables you to skip to the correct section within your list, and it's especially useful if you have a very long list of items. Then we have two types of filters here. One filters the publications by type, whether it's an article or an audio document or audiovisual and so on. So you can go and look, for example, at only the audiovisual documents you have within your Talis resource list. You can use this filter on its own, or you can use it in combination with this filter. Let's say we want to see all the book entries and only the online ones. As you can see, all of these are books that are available online, or you could say all books that are essential. And this is a very quick way of spotting what you have on your Talis list without having to browse through it all. I hope this has been useful, and please refer to the Talis Resource Lists guide available on our website.